Hey, everybody, it's Craig, and I am back in the sports cabin taking my seat. The TV's on, ready for another bowl game. But it occurred to me the other day that as a kid, I loved bowling. I was in a junior league that we got to bowl every Saturday, and just putting on that shirt with the name of the local Dodge dealer on the back was a seventh grade highlight. I was okay. I was pretty good. It was all right. I still know how to keep score, and for a brief period, I was a pin boy at the local Elks Club lanes. Of course, later in life, I was called a pinhead, but that had nothing to do with bowling. I'm thinking now about the, 300 bowl games we have. None of them seem to mean anything except for the two semifinal games, and I don't think that's a good thing, but that's another story. Most of these games are brought to you by ESPN, so they have to drag out every person who's ever thought he or she could do play-by-play, and they try to dazzle us, but most of them don't. I've covered a lot of bowl games, and it occurred to me also that several times I've been to the Sun Bowl in El Paso, and it was a good time. That was, I think, 1981 or so. And, of course, the trip down there included a stop at Tony Lama's sweatshop where they had all these people making cowboy boots, and I think I got a pair of ostrich boots for about $4. It was quite the deal. And, of course, we also enjoyed the sights and sounds of the greater Juarez area. One night we walked across the border to eat at a place called Shangri-La. It was the best Chinese food that Mexico had, and it was owned by a guy named Paco Wong. Paco liked the American dollar. After dinner and drinks, we then walked back to El Paso. Can you imagine if we tried that today or tomorrow night? No telling how many guys wouldn't make it. Also, that bowl game was home to UT one year, and I'll never forget Freddie Akers walked up to me and said, "You got a cigarette?" That was probably my most memorable meeting with the future coach at Purdue. Cotton Bowls were a lot of fun. I once talked to Bear Bryant when Bama was about to play Baylor. And it was also cold one year, and I know you Cougar fans are thinking of that game against Joe Montana and Notre Dame. This was later, and it was in the Cotton Bowl, and the Cougars were playing Boston College. And it was so cold I took my boots off at halftime. I never could get them back on because my feet were so swollen from it being cold. And the one thing I remember, I guess, more than anything was that their quarterback, Doug Flutie, talked to him. He never asked me for a cigarette, and neither did Coach Yeoman. And by the way, those frozen boots, sure, they were from El Paso. This is Craig Roberts on click2houston.com.